Hello my YouTube friends, I want to welcome you to this exciting lesson in Revit. In this lesson, I just want to teach you on how you can use an imperial template to model the rebar on a continuous beam. Right here, we are going to use this beam. I want to use an imperial template because most of my lessons I have been using metric, but I know I've just realized that there are a lot of people out there who are using the imperial units. And I just want to demonstrate that on this continuous beam. Now, there are a lot of tips and tricks that I want to show in this lesson, more specifically on how you can clean up your detail, on how you can show it in a professional way, the line weights, the graphics, and everything. So make sure that even if you've been using Revit or you are a metric guy like me or someone using imperial units, watch from start to finish. There are a lot of things that you are going to learn in this lesson. All right. And I just want to remind you that please don't just watch my videos. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, the best you can support me is liking the videos and sharing with your friends. And make sure that you check out my website, the link in the description or the first comment, where there's some nice courses for you. You might be interested in one of them. All right. So let's begin in this lesson. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open level 2. All right, so that I can cut a section on that continuous beam and should get started in this lesson. So let me go to level 2 right there. All right, so here we are. The first thing that you need to do is to cut a section by just going to view, then section. Then you can use building or detail section from there. I'm just going to use the building section, click the first point and the second point, and I'll just reduce the extents like that. Right, then double click the head for the section to open this detail. And what I want to do is to work on that detail. So I'll just pick the crop region like that and hold my left mouse to minimize it or to reduce the extents like that. Now, all you need to do is to make sure that you use the correct scale, because you may want to put this detail on your sheet just like that. And I can drag it. Can just drag it up to somewhere here, and whatever I don't want to show here, you can select on it, right click and hide in view by elements, because I don't want to show my levels. Now from this detail, you notice that there is a hatch pattern in section on the beam and the column. If that's what you do in your region, you can show the hatch pattern. If you don't show the hatch pattern like me, you can do that by selecting, let me select this beam. Then go to the materials, under materials and finishes, click once, then click that little box at the end. Then you notice that under graphics, you can go to the cut pattern, select on it and make sure that none is selected. Click OK, click apply and click on OK. You see that all those elements with the same materials will be adjusted likewise. Now let me make sure that I have the same materials for the beams, the columns and everything. So just counter check. You notice that this one is concrete cast in place gray. If I select on the slab and let me just click on edit, it should be concrete cast in place gray. Is it the same material? Okay, it's fine. So I have the same materials right here. All right, now let me cut a section across here by going to view, then section, then I'll click, I'll make sure that I'm using a detail section. Then I'll click the first point and the second point, click outside, then double click the head to open this section. All right, then make sure that you change the scale to the correct one. Since this is a detail which I want to show, I have to make it bigger, then expand it like that, and make sure that you adjust it as you wish. Now, I'll select this one, hold control and select that one, right click, hide in view by elements, so that I can just remain with the section like that. Okay, now let me begin by placing the reinforcement. You see that I have this section and that section. So all you need to do is to select this section. I'll start with the stirrups, then click on Rebar, just click on OK. Now from here, as I've said, these are imperial. This is an imperial template. You can see that that is the rebar that I want. I'm going to use number 3 for my stirrups. Select on it. Then go to the rebar shape browser right there and pick the correct shape code. I'll just scroll down and pick this one. moving my cursor here, you see that it's not being shown the way it's supposed, it's not being placed the way it's supposed to be placed. So you need to come right here and make sure that you change the placement plane. Maybe let's start with, it should be parallel to work plane. Then move in your cursor there. After changing the placement plane, you see that this is the correct one. And you can move your cursor like that to make sure that the ties are in the correct position. I'll just leave it there and click on modify. All right, now if I want, I can come down here and change to fine level of detail to show as double lines. But in my detail, I'm going to change it to thin lines, as you are going to see. And those are some of the tips and tricks that I want to show you. All right, so now if I select on this one, you see that it's showing quantity 3 fixed number. I don't want this. I want to change this one to maximum spacing. And then the spacing, of course, remember that I've said that I'm a metric guy, but in the goodness with Revit is that I can still use metric units as I type in there, but the template is imperial to automatically convert. So if I want to show this one as 200 millimeter in metric, but to convert to imperial units, I can just type 200 mm, enter on my keyboard. You see that it will convert, and now I have 139 because here I have maximum spacing. So now I have 139 as the quantity. All right, now let me go to my 3D view by selecting on 3D view there. I just want to isolate. I hope this is where I have my bars. Let me select the rebar, click on 3D. Okay, the bars are right there. So I'll select that beam, hold Control, select this one. I'll click on selection box or BX on your keyboard to simply isolate this so that I can see what I'm trying to do. Okay, as you can see, I have too much rebar there. I think I didn't type properly. Let me counter check the units UN on my keyboard. So the length is in millimeters. That is fine. The volume, cubic meters. So I think the units are okay. I just need to go back there, select on this one, click there, 200 mm, enter on my keyboard. Oh, I think it has recalculated. I made a mistake when typing. Now 15, I think number makes sense. So I can select on that, go to my 3D view, and now the bars are inside. I can simply change this one to wireframe to see whatever I want to see there before I even show it as unobscured. Okay, I'm going to do that later on. So I'll go back here. Now let me add the bars, the longitudinal bars here. So I'll select the beam. Then I'll click on rebar. Then make sure that under the properties, you pick the bar. Maybe I'm going to pick number 6. All right. Then from the Rebar shape browser, I'll simply drag up there and I'm going to pick the first one. All right. From here, now you see that if I move in like that, it's not in the correct, direction. I need to go to placement plane and pick perpendicular. Then move in here. Okay, now make sure that you go to the rebar set. I've already selected fixed number and I want to use 3 as the quantity. So I can zoom in there and you see that those are my bars. All right, so there's the other thing that I wanted to show you. If I click on constraint placement, it's going to be constrained on these bars so that when the size changes, everything changes, all the bars will move. So make sure that you click on, is it selected already? Okay, it's now selected. Constraint placement, as you can see, it sticks on the other bars, and this is what I want. I'll click on it. All right, now before I do anything, let me click on modify to escape, and I'm going to go to 3D view. Okay, now if I change again, I wanted to go, is it shaded? Or maybe let me go to realistic. Okay, I'll be in realistic mode. If I select everything like that, then click on filter, check none, structure rebar. I want to show the bars unobscured. Then once you select the bars, make sure that you go to view visibility states, click on edit and make sure that you check view unobscured, click on OK, click outside and you see that you have the bars like that. Okay, now why the bars are dark is just the material on the rebar. I can leave it like that if I want. It's just the material. I can change the material if I so wish. Right, maybe let me change it. I can select on the bar. Okay, where is the, I go to edit. I need to find the material. As you can see, this is the material which is right here. I can click on it. All right, so now you notice that if I go to appearance, the material is there. If I go to graphics, you know, it's using that material. Now I can change the material from here, maybe steel. Let me find a different material. Maybe let me use this one. Okay, then click on OK, then apply. This one should look different. Is it the same material that I've used? Let me do it once again. Okay, let me use this one. All right, okay. Apply. Okay, if it doesn't change, I'll still leave it. Can change it later. Maybe let me do it for the last time. Why is the material not changing? So, okay, render appearance is like this one. If I go to graphics, let me use the render appearance to show that material. Or if I don't, I can actually, let me just click there. Let me pick, maybe just pick a different color. Right, apply. Okay, I hope this one works. I need to come out of this, you know, appearance. If I go to shaded, okay, perfect. All right, so the reason is that under realistic, it's using, you know, the actual material. So the actual material for this one, if I click on it, let me show you once again so that you are not lost. If I just click there, click somewhere there, appearance, this is the material that is speaking. So unless if I replace this one, which is an image, so as long as I'm under realistic, it's always going to show you that one. But if I go to shaded, it will show a different one. Okay, so I will not change it because that is the still realistic. That's how it's supposed to be seen. But if I change to a different view, I've changed it to yellow. You can see that it will change like that. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I think it looks good. Now, what I'll do, I'll just extend this one all the way up to the end because I know the stock length in my region is about 12 meters. This one is less than 12, so it can go all the way up to the end. So I'm going to use the constraints by selecting on it. Then I'll click there and click on edit constraints. Then I'm going to pick the edge. All right. Then scroll like that and pick all the way up to the end. I'll pick it like that. Now watch out for this number. If I select on it, I can simply put a 0 there first of all, so that it's able to reach the end. Then I can add another constraint there. Make sure that I pick the edge. All right, zoom in there, pick the edge. You see that 0 is there. Then I can add now the cover, maybe the 35 should be maybe negative 35. All right, and enter. You can see that I've provided for that cover. All right, perfect. Now for this one, I can just propagate this one. If I select on it, I can click on propagate. I can pick the base there. All right, pick the base there for that beam, then pick this one. You see that we have those and click on finish. Click outside. Perfect. Now let me add the hooks here. If I select on this one, I can add the hooks here by selecting on it, the hook at start and the hook at end. So I'll just click there. I'll use the standard 90, then hook at end. I also use standard 90 degrees. You can see that I have those hooks. Okay, now as you can see, maybe the hooks are too long. Okay, in Revit 2025, even I think 2024, I can select on it. All right, just make sure that you click on override there. Okay, let me select on it. I need to see, there are these numbers that you can see. Maybe let me change the view to realistic. I think I should be able to see it properly in realistic. Once I select on it, I'm able to see those, you know, the distances or the lengths for the hooks there. So I can always click on it, and this is imperial unit, but I can still type the metric units. Maybe I want 100 millimeters. I can enter there. You see that maybe 100 is to maybe 150. So maybe 150 millimeters. Okay, maybe this is what I want. You can always calculate, you know, the hooks there. Then I'll also do the same on this other end. I'll select on it. There is a number there, select on it, maybe 150 millimeters. Enter like that, and you see that we have the hooks. All right, now I'll need to go back to shaded so that I can see it like that. Now the other thing that I'll need to do is just to mirror this one. So I can mirror it from this detail. So what I'll do, I'll simply select on this one. Then I'm going to use mirror by clicking there. Then I'll just hover the cursor there, then right click, then override graphics, then mid between 2 points, and I want to pick this one, and I need to pick that point. Then you see that it picks the middle. Then I can click horizontally like that. Then I have it there. Then all I can do maybe is to simply move it. I think I need to move it a bit, maybe from there up to somewhere there, and you can see that I have, the 3 bars. If I go to my 3D view, you can see that I have everything. Let me change to maybe with textures. Okay, you can see that is the texture, that is a rebar. So you can move from one view to the other and make sure that you show how you want it to be shown. All right, so the beam is done. You can be done as simple as this. You can model complicated rebar there. You can add the top, at the bottom, and everything that you'd want to do. So now let me proceed and show you how you can start detailing now. You can see that the detail, I can start it from here. Now I want to use 1 to 20 for this one. Now I can go to coarse if I want, but here I want to make sure that if I go to shaded, okay, now this is the first tip that I want to show you right now. Okay, so if you are at coarse level of detail, maybe let me start with fine level of detail, you are going to see the rebar with double lines. I think most of my lessons on this channel have been showing the double lines, but maybe since I'm also showing the imperial, template, the imperial units, I also want to show how you can do single lines. There could be those who do not want to show double lines in terms of showing the rebar. So if I go to double lines like this, I'm on a fine level of detail. Then I can go to shaded. That is shading, shaded actually. I can go to consistent. I can go to texture. It will be shown like this. You can decide how you want to display it depending on where you are. Realistic, it will be shown like this one. All right, now if I want to show it as single lines, I have to be on coarse. But now you realize that when you change to coarse, sometimes it will show this shade if you have different elements joined together. This is a slab, this is a slab, this is a column. This is how it's going to behave. So as a workaround, what I do is I just make sure that I'm still at fine level of detail, just like that. You can see the consistency in terms of colors, and make sure that I can now either be at shaded, it doesn't matter. You see that it will look consistent in terms of colors. Shaded right there, you can go that one. I can use textures, it will still be consistent in terms of colors. I can also use realistic to be consistent, except that you can only show the single lines at coarse level of detail. But remember, if I go to coarse level of detail, then I have that shade which doesn't look good. I don't want this. So what you need to do, make sure that you are just at fine level of detail. And if you want to show it in realistic or shaded, it's up to you. So I'm going to use shaded for now, as you can see. But now, how do I make sure that I'm showing the single lines here? So what I need to do, I need to go to visibility graphics, type VG on your keyboard, and find the structure rebar. All right, so we have the structure rebar right here. Where is it? Right here. So what you need to do now, apply the graphics, the visibility graphics, just on this particular view, and you can save this as a view template. All right, that is the goodness. You don't have to be doing this all the time. So structure rebar, change the detail level from here and change to coarse level of detail. You are just applying this to structure rebar. The rest will still remain the same. Click on apply and click on OK. And as you can see, this looks perfect, but we are still doing a lot of changes here to make it even much better. All right, now when you just activate the the thick lines, you notice here that this is what you are going to get. And you know, as a novice in Revit, I've seen people doing drawings with such kind of colors. This looks ugly, so you need to follow your standards. How are the beams, the columns supposed to be? How is the rebar supposed to be? So what I'm going to do is simply according to my preferences and in my region, but you can do whatever I want to do with what I want to show you in terms of customizing or making sure that, you know, the line weights, the thickness for the rebar is shown in the correct way. So once you need to do is to make sure that you activate this one. This is how it's going to be printed out. And now let's get started with, for me, I want the formwork, like for the reinforcement, to be very, very thin. So I'll just go to visibility graphics. I'll start with the, you know, I'll start with maybe structural framing, which is the beam. So the beam is the structural framing, which is this one. Now I know that I'm cutting this one in section, so I can always go to cut and go to lines there and just make sure that I change to solid and change this one to the first one, which is number 1. Those numbers are representing the actual line weights. If you want me to show in detail where those numbers are coming from, you can check the videos on my channel, or you can tell me to do another lesson for you. So that is the one. So I'll click on apply. Okay, as you can see, this looks perfect. This is how I want it to be. So I'll do the same for the columns, VG. Then I'll go to structural columns. It should be called structural columns, and I'm cutting it in section. All right, so just click there, you know, pick the line and pick the first option there. You can play around with, you know, the actual line weights for those numbers. You can see that this looks neat. Now you can see we have an ugly line now for the floor. You don't want this, so go to VG, then go to floors. I think it should be somewhere here, and do the same cut pattern. Just click there and make sure that you go to solid and make sure that first one, apply. Okay, okay, and this is how I want it to be. Perfect. Now let's deal with the reinforcement. You don't want it to be like this. You want this now to be thicker, but not double lines, but just thicker. If I change this one to, actually I'm on fine level of detail because I've already reset, so I can't, you know, go back unless if I go inside. Let me just make this as thick line. So I'll just go to VG. Now this is structural rebar once again. So structural rebar is right here. So these are lines, projection or surface line. So I need to come here and now change the line weight for this. All right, I'll need to change this one. Maybe I'll pick this one. Tell me if you don't know what this number means and where you can check the actual line weight. There I can do a lesson for you, or simply check on my channel. There's a lesson for that. So I'll pick that one, click on apply. Excellent. This is what I want, and I know there could be someone who wants to have neat drawings like this one. If you want to change the color, well, you can easily do that. VG, then go to the same and simply change the color for this one. If you want maybe a red color, you can as well change it to red and apply. Okay, apply. Okay, and you can have it like that. All right, but I don't like this color. Just Control Z. I think I'm happy with this color. Okay, now some more graphics. I can also go to down there, graphic display options, maybe smooth lines. Again, you can choose to add these or not. You can see that as those graphics. The silhouettes, maybe medium lines, but I think it was good enough. Then I can go to lighting there. I don't want the sun, maybe I don't want the shadow, just want to add some ambience, a bit of it. I think this one looks better, even much better. Apply. Okay, and you can see we have it like that. If it's too dark, go back there and change the shading. You should be good to go. All right, now let's proceed with detailing. It's very simple. All you need to do is to go to annotate, then tag by category. Okay, now you can, maybe I just want to pick this one. Okay, as you can see, this is an imperial template. I can drag it like that. You can see that we have it right here. You can add this one. Since this is just one bar, so Can I add another one? It's already added, so I can't add two, so I just need to add this one on top. Click there, then I can drag it and just place it there. You can check the one that you are using. For example, if I select on this one, okay, let me right click cancel. I can select on it. I can show the one that I want to show. It's just showing you the type and number. I think that is okay. So if you want to show quantity type number, you can always show the quantity. I think this one is even better, the one which is showing the quantity. I think we have 3, number 6, and then this is the bar mark. I think that is okay. Then you can also switch this one to the one which is showing the quantity. I think looks even much better. Now if I select on that, I can show the bar that I want to display. Maybe I just want to display the mid one. I can do the same, click on this one, show the mid one. And if you show all the bars, well, you can leave it the way it was, but me, I just show one bar in my region. Then you can annotate this one by just going to annotate, then mount rebar annotation. Then you can decide to pick the position, or you want just to pick the the position as you place. For example, if I click there, I can choose where I want my, pick it, then first place it. You see that I selected it, so it's picking it automatically. Control Z. If I click there to pick the position, I can select on it, click there, then I have the option to decide where I want it to be. So I think I'll use this one. All right, then select this one, place it there. Then I can decide to place it there and just do that. Then you can see that I have my, my tag right there. Now, this is a default template. As you can see, this is a default template. Of course, maybe I want to show some diagonal lines there or a dot. If you want me to teach you that, I can always do that, but let me just show the diagonal lines. I'll just select on it. Now, this is a tag. It's a combination of dimension and the tag. So what I'm going to do, I'll simply go to edit type and pick the dimension style that I want to show here. Maybe the next one will do fine. Then click on apply. Okay, so you can see that it's showing those ticks there. So it shows you where the bar is ending. All right, as you can see. Now for this one, I also need a diagonal there. I can select on it, click on edit and lead the arrow there. I can pick from there and let me show the diagonal. Maybe I want to show this one. Apply, okay. And excellent, you see it's right there. I'm just using the default template. Nothing customized here, so you can use even the default template and be able to achieve what I've just done here. All right, so this is how you detail. As you can see, you can simply now remove the the crop view there, just like that. You can select on it, just drag it like that and select on this one. This is almost ready for placement on your sheets. You can add the dimensions, you can add your notes. Maybe this is too dark, you can still go back there, click on display. Let me go to lighting. I think let me add some more lighting there, or it's too much, just want a bit of a shading. Apply. Okay, this one looks perfect. I think this is what I want. Now you can add the dimensions here by going to annotate dimensions there. Now I change this to to metric, okay, which is fine. You can use imperial if you want, but for me this is what I want. And you can just simply add the dimensions like that, and we can add this one maybe somewhere here. Maybe then the overall you can add it from there up to somewhere here, and you can have it maybe somewhere there, and you can drag the grids there so that it doesn't get in the way of the dimensions. Let me drag it up to somewhere here, and here we are. This is the detail. You can see that we have the rebar. Now in this view, does it affect the other one? Let me remove the thick lines. If I go to this one, it does, but all the same you can activate it, the thick lines here. You see that it looks neat. You can always place this on your sheet and it will come out very neat. With the 3D, you can also place it on your sheet. So if you like what I'm doing on this channel, please don't forget once again to like my videos and comment there if there are certain specific videos or lesson that you want. I'll always do it for you. See you in some upcoming lessons.